Steve Ritter back again. So the title of this one is just a chatting with the Colonel. Where have you been? Well, that's a good question. A lot of folks have asked that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that you care so much that that you're concerned. I'm sure all of you have been watching television, watching the news, and everything that's been going on. It's been horrible with Afghanistan and all. First off, I'm safe. Everything's fine. I'm in the United Arab Emirates, which it's off the Arabian Gulf or Persian Gulf, as a lot of people say. I'm a long ways from Afghanistan, so I was talking to the ravishing Mrs. Ritter the other night, and I just was like, everybody's so scared. I'm like, oh well, I mean that's kind of like asking people from California how they're doing if they made it through Hurricane Ida okay. I mean, it's yes, yeah, it's a long ways away. None of that stuff spilled over here. The UAE is a very safe country. They take their security very seriously. They just don't let that nonsense come in. You know, the terrorism and all that. They were very actively fight to keep that stuff out. And it's safe here. Crime, everything is very low. It's really safe. It's nice. And now the summertime we're on the tail end of it. It's still hot. The humidity's coming down now, which makes it nice. As much as 100 degrees can be nice, but it's dry. So and if you have any kind of breeze and all, it's bearable. Unlike when the humidity's high and it's a nightmare. But no, I'm fine. You know, Afghanistan is really, I mean, you think about it, it's not the Middle East. It's really kind of South Asia. It's we used to, when I flew airlift and in the U.S. Air Force, we called it the stands. Those were all the stands, all the Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, all the stand countries. Really, it's kind of Asia, South Asia, a little bit more of that, not so much the Middle East. So different people, different cultures. They're not Arabs. So so really, I mean, it's everything's fine here. The UAE has flown missions into Afghanistan, into Kabul, and we're evacuating people. And of course, the U.S. was doing that and all. But you know, all those horrible images and everything else, I saw those as much as y'all did. And of course, I'm also kind of getting some videos I've seen, you know, through people, friends of friends that were there and are still flying, and some of the things that they saw. It's horrible, and I can't imagine. We looked at those videos. That one video of the C-17 taxiing out with the people hanging all over the airplane and everything else. I can't even imagine being the aircraft commander of that airplane, and what do you do? You know, you can't. I'm sitting there thinking about it going, okay, well, you can't really open the doors to go tell the people to get off because they're going to just try to force their way onto the airplane. Now you're in a worse situation. I was trying to imagine what I would do. I mean, maybe fast taxi down the runway, turn around and come back. Maybe they would get the clue and jump off. But just how desperate would those people need to be that they would hang on to an airplane like that? I can't even imagine. Horrible situation. I don't want to get into the politics of all that. I have my thoughts on things. I think that it certainly could have been handled much better. The drawdown and everything else. I think that's pretty much, everybody sees that. But I don't want to get into politics and all of that. But work's been real busy. It's been a week since I posted anything, but it's been crazy busy. Where I'm at, the previous contract that the UAE signed with Boeing is that they would do 3 simulator sessions a day, and back in July they signed a new amendment to the contract to add one more, so now it's 4 per day. The problem is we have the same number of pilots. We haven't hired an additional pilot to help out, and that coupled with all with the corona virus and all of that, really nobody could travel, so leave starts stacking up, and people have time off that they're not able to spend. Well, they don't spend it, and it's been built up, and then guess what? You're into a new year now, and then that leave's added to it, and basically the company's like, okay, well, we can't keep doing this forever. We used to, in the military, it was called use or lose leave. You get to accumulate so much, and then anything on top of that you have until the end of the contract to use, and that was kind of the situation. So everybody's been taking their time off, and which is, they should, right? I mean, asking somebody to give up leave or holidays or whatever, sacrifice that, it's like coming up to somebody going, hey, I want you to give 10% of your pay back. You can't ask that, right? So people have been taking leave. We're busier now. So even if everybody was here and not on leave, we would still be busy because we're really a person down from what we should be. So, the company's actively looking out there for other people. By the way, if there's any C-17 people out there, put the application in, message me. So, which I've done this on Facebook and everything else. Like, hey, anybody? Well, the problem is the airlines are hiring now. So people are getting back traveling. When my brother-in-law works for Delta, and they of course saw the break with the travel, when the coronavirus was really bad last year. They actively, aggressively said, hey, some of the older guys, we'll give you a nice retirement package, make room so we don't have to furlough pilots, which they don't like to do, because you're basically saying, okay, well, you still you're our guy, but we want you can go do something else until we call you back. And that's expensive to get people retrained, so they wanted to furlough as few people as possible. So anyway, now that the travel's picked back up, they've got to hire and hire and hire more people. So a lot of the people now that are getting out of the Air Force or Navy or whatever, the flyers, the airlines, there's just not enough pilots out there. That they were talking about that for the last 5 years, how there's just not enough pilots to fill the gaps. So if you're a competent pilot, a safe pilot, you're probably going to get hired. So how do you recruit people to come to the Middle East to work teaching simulators and doing this? It makes it tough. So that's what's going on right now. So it's challenging, and I just, some of the people that have put in applications, I heard the other day that one person applied and all they sent in was a selfie. No qualifications, nothing, just a, hey, how you doing? Look, you're hired. How do you, I mean, what could, obviously they're not being serious. Another person, like, are you a C-17? There's some qualifications. You have to be a C-17 instructor and have a certain number of hours and all of this. I mean, that's, they can work with you a little bit on that. If you flew another airplane and were an instructor, but you kind of have to have some teaching experience. And they had somebody who's like, well, I'm taking my private pilot's, I'm training for it now, which is like the basic, I'm learning how to fly. I'm like, oh, that's not a good application either. So that's what's kind of going on now. So hopefully we can shake the tree every way we can think of and get some folks. But it's tough. It's challenging now hiring and during these days. So that's what's been going on. So work's been really, really busy. I was here 5 years ago. Well, 6 years ago now. Phew. Has it been that long? Yeah, 2015. I was here. Was not nearly this busy. And you know, times are changing. It's busy here, and but I still enjoy the work very much. I enjoy what I do. Not scared at all being over here. Not worried at all. I am so. All that being said, I'm in this new hotel. I showed you all that a couple of videos ago. This new hotel. I'm really enjoying it. This is. I'm sitting in front of my window here, looking outside. That's the view. So I'm really enjoying it here. That's the first thing in the morning. I got this handy little remote control thing, and I click the button, and the windows open, and I can almost hear, you know, the Hallelujah chorus playing as the windows open. It's pretty nice. Great view. Anyway, I don't have a kitchen in here, and I don't really want to bring an air fryer or a crock pot or anything in here. I'm like, because frankly, I mean, I don't have I have a very small fridge that's full of water, and I mean, really, there's no place to put anything. So I've got kind of a meal package here at the hotel for the breakfast, but dinners, you know, what do I do? Anyway, what do I do for videos? So what I was thinking, and I'll welcome any ideas, but I'm going to continue the devotions that I do, because I really, that's a blessing for me. I know a lot of you have enjoyed those. I certainly, it is an incredible blessing for me. Continue that. I was thinking, now that the weather's kind of cooling down a little bit, I kind of get out a little bit more. There's plenty of sites around Abu Dhabi that I haven't shared with you yet. So the Corniche in particular, some of the, you know, some folks have mentioned, hey, what does a normal residential neighborhood look like in Abu Dhabi? I was thinking about hopping in the car and driving around Abu Dhabi and showing you the sites, some of the different areas and things like that. I was going to do that. As soon as it sounds like the COVID restrictions are kind of coming down here. They just put out new guidance now that people that are vaccinated that fly into the country now don't have to quarantine at all, which is great news. So when the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter plans to come out next month, she won't have to have a GPS watch strapped to her and stay in the hotel for 7 days. So she just was just vaccinated as well. So she's had the Johnson & Johnson shot. I had it as well. Haven't had any problems. Everything's fine. I'm planning to, so around the town, around the site, so as soon as the restrictions come down a little bit more, I really want to get out, especially like Dubai. I showed you the fishing trip out to Fujairah. Well, I'd like to get out to some of the other sites, and especially when Arlene gets here, you know, do a little weekends out and see some different parts of the UAE, and maybe even the open, what was it they call it, the open quarter, or the out in the desert. So show you some of that and getting out and seeing some of the sites. That's the plan. Also, there's some cool restaurants around here. I was thinking about hitting one up tonight and doing that, but showing you that, some of the different meals you can get, a lot of the Arabic food and everything that they serve, I really like a lot of it, doing that. So that's kind of my plan. If you have some other things you'd like to see, hey, leave a comment down below. It's good seeing y'all again. Appreciate y'all visiting with me. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. Well, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see. If you have questions about anything, about living here, ask that as well. I could do a video on that and kind of talk about my impressions of living over here and questions about things and what do I see. And a lot of you have had some questions about, you know, are women allowed to drive and things like that. And I can answer that for you. And answer questions about that. So I think I'd like that. But you know, things that you want to know. A lot of you have mentioned that you enjoy the travel videos and everything else because it's places that you probably never get to see, or a place in the world you never get to go to, or anything else. So it really is nice here. I really do enjoy it. The people are kind, and I really enjoy working with them and flying with them. And I flew with a couple of young co-pilots yesterday. I was doing a sim with them, and I was telling them some old war stories about my days in the C-17 and how I went back when I was in your shoes and going through as a co-pilot back in 1995, and I see them both kind of look at each other and kind of blink a couple times, and I went, "What?" And they said, "Sir, we were not born yet." I'm like, oh, I had to take a knee. Ooh, that hurt. I'm now the old guy. Old war stories. Anyway, hope you have a great day. It's great seeing everybody again, and I will see you soon. So take care. This is Colonel signing off. Over and out.